The bold and the beautiful has always excelled at delivering emotional, unforgettable storylines that push its characters and its viewers to the limit. And now, with the devastating arc of Liam Spencer's brain tumor diagnosis, the show has once again launched a tale so raw, so tragic, that it promises to leave an indelible mark on the hearts of fans everywhere. In a recent heartfelt interview, Scott Clifton, the actor who has portrayed Liam Spencer for more than a decade, opened up about this new journey for his character. Clifton revealed to Soap Opera Digest that he was both honored and thrilled to take on such a challenging and emotionally charged storyline. For Clifton, it was not just another acting job, it was a profound responsibility, a vote of confidence from executive producer and head writer Brad Bell. The fact that Bell entrusted him with such a heavy, pivotal arc meant everything to Clifton, who was eager to rise to the occasion and give fans the performance of a lifetime. And if early scenes are anything to judge by, he has delivered. The story truly began to pick up steam when Liam, still grappling with odd symptoms he could no longer ignore, collapsed. It was Steffi who found him, Steffi who rushed him to the hospital, and Steffi who first heard the crushing verdict. Liam had an aggressive, inoperable brain tumor. His time was running out. Steffi, heartbroken but strong, became the reluctant bearer of this nightmare, carrying the news that would soon destroy the people Liam loved most. When Liam awoke and Steffi told him the truth, the emotional journey began immediately. Audiences watched as Liam sped through the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, not over days or weeks, but in mere minutes. First came denial. Liam refused to believe it, insisted that it couldn't be true. He challenged the doctors, questioned the tests, clung to the hope that someone, somewhere, had made a mistake. When Finn, ever the gentle but firm bearer of medical truth, explained the scans and test results in painstaking detail, the reality began to seep into Liam's consciousness. But Liam didn't explode in rage. Instead, his anger was quieter, sharper, tinged with despair. His words to Steffi and Finn were etched with bitterness, but the fury was short-lived. Before long, a profound sadness took hold, and with it came acceptance, the most painful step of all. Now, with the gravity of his situation sinking in, Liam found himself leaning heavily on Finn, the very man who had once been a rival, the man who now would be the only father figure left for Kelly after Liam was gone. Their past animosities faded into insignificance. Liam trusted Finn implicitly now, relying on him not only for medical care, but for emotional strength. Finn became the anchor in the storm, the constant source of support Liam so desperately needed as the end loomed nearer. Time and again, Liam questioned Finn about his condition. Were there any changes in the latest scans? Was there any hope, even a sliver? Was there a clinical trial, an experimental procedure, something they hadn't considered yet? Finn, compassionate but honest, had no false promises to give. The reality was harsh. There was no cure, no miracle, no second chance. As Liam processed his fate, Hope Logan was still kept in the dark. For a time, she was spared the knowledge of Liam's ticking clock, but secrets rarely stay buried for long in Los Angeles. Hope's entrance into the storyline was inevitable. She deserved the truth. She deserved the chance to say goodbye. And so, as Liam's condition worsened, it was Hope who re-entered the orbit of his tragedy. Already wrestling with her own complicated feelings, having recently started a tentative romance with Carter, Hope's world shattered the moment she learned the truth about Liam's diagnosis. All her lingering love, all the old dreams she had tucked away, came flooding back with a vengeance. Liam was dying, and nothing else mattered. The gravity of the situation pulled Hope and Liam back together with a force neither could resist. All of the pain, all of the misunderstandings, all of the mistakes between them melted away, replaced by a fierce, desperate need to cherish what little time they had left. Hope was there when Liam suffered his second terrifying collapse, a harrowing moment that revealed just how little time they truly had. It happened suddenly. One moment Liam was trying to read to Beth over a video call, the next he was crumpling to the floor, clutching his head in agony. Hope, who had been nearby, rushed to his side, screaming for help. Tests revealed the new horror. A massive blood clot had formed in Liam's brain, a deadly complication of his tumor. The doctors rushed to perform an emergency procedure to drain the blood and relieve the pressure, but the prognosis remained grim. The clot had damaged an already fragile brain, worsening the very condition that was already terminal. Hope refused to leave his side. She sat by his hospital bed, her hand curled around his, whispering promises and prayers through her tears. She told him about Beth's day at school, about the way Kelly had mastered riding her bike. She filled the room with memories and love, trying desperately to anchor Liam to the world of the living. But it was a battle already lost. The latest scans showed that Liam's tumor had grown aggressively. His body, weakened by surgeries and hemorrhaging, was giving up. Doctors gave him days at most. Hope was determined that Liam would not die alone. She brought Beth and Kelly to the hospital, allowing them to visit in short, gentle moments, careful to shield them from the worst of his decline. She created scrapbooks of their happiest memories together. She sang to him. She read to him. She simply stayed. And through it all, Steffi stood by as well, her heart breaking for the man she had once loved and the father of her daughter. The day came when Liam, conscious but fading, asked to speak to Hope alone. She sat beside him, holding his hand tightly. "I'm sorry," Liam whispered, his voice barely a breath. "I wanted to give you everything. I wanted to be there, forever." Hope shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "You gave me everything that mattered. You gave me Beth. You gave me love. I'll be with you," he said, his eyes shining with emotion. "Always." Hope kissed his forehead, her lips trembling against his skin. "I love you, Liam. Always." And with a faint smile, a smile of peace, of release, Liam closed his eyes for the last time, his hand falling slack in hers. Hope sobbed silently, clutching his lifeless hand against her heart, feeling the weight of a love story that had ended far too soon. The hospital room filled with the gentle, sorrowful cries of those who loved him. Steffi, Finn, Bill, Brooke, Ridge, all gathered to honor a life cut brutally short but lived fully and passionately. In the days that followed, Hope carried the unbearable burden of explaining Liam's death to Beth. She found the strength somehow, kneeling before her daughter, wrapping her in arms that ached with loss, and telling her that Daddy had gone to heaven, that he would always be watching, always loving her from a place she could not yet see. Beth clung to Hope, sobbing, her small body racked with grief no child should have to know. Kelly, too young to fully grasp the finality of death, still asked when Daddy would come home. The answers were never enough. In the weeks that followed, Hope and Steffi found themselves bound together in their grief. Two women who had loved the same man in different ways, now united in ensuring that Beth and Kelly grew up surrounded by love and memories. The loss of Liam reshaped the entire landscape of the bold and the beautiful. His absence left a void that could never truly be filled. Yet through their tears, through their heartbreak, Hope and Steffi vowed that Liam's legacy would endure not in monuments or grand gestures, but in the small, beautiful everyday moments that defined his life. A bedtime story, a whispered "I love you," a child's laughter echoing through the halls. And somewhere, in the quiet moments when they closed their eyes, they could almost hear Liam's voice, steady, strong, filled with love, reminding them that love never truly dies. In the ever-turbulent world of the bold and the beautiful, emotions run high, loyalties are tested, and destinies can shift in the blink of an eye. In the latest unfolding drama, several storylines intertwine to create a tapestry of heartbreak, betrayal, determination, and unexpected alliances, all centered around the enduring pillars of love and ambition. At the heart of the chaos stands Ridge Forrester, once again the object of a complicated love triangle that refuses to die quietly. Despite Eric Forrester's firm belief that Ridge and Brooke Logan are soulmates, destined to reunite and reclaim the passion that once defined them, Ridge remains resolute. The elder Forrester's well-meaning interference only serves to reignite old wounds, but Ridge is determined to honor the path he has chosen. His commitment is no longer to Brooke, no matter how deep their history runs. Ridge has pledged himself to Taylor Hayes, the woman who had stood by him through many storms, the woman who had offered unconditional love even when his heart had wavered. Ridge knows that honoring his promises matters now more than ever, especially in a world where betrayals have left scars that may never fully heal. Yet Brooke, fueled by lingering hope and the whispering encouragement of those around her, gathers her courage to speak privately with Ridge. Their conversation is charged with unspoken memories, with a love that had once burned too brightly to ever fully extinguish. Brooke lays her heart bare, perhaps expecting that familiar spark to reignite, that Ridge will look at her the way he once did, with the weight of 1,000 shared moments urging him back into her arms. But the answer she receives is not the one her heart aches for. Ridge's rejection is not cruel, but it is firm. His words, though careful, are final. He has moved on. His future lies with Taylor. Brooke's dreams of reconciliation shatter quietly, leaving her standing alone in a reality colder than she had prepared for. The impact of Ridge's refusal is immediate and profound. Brooke, once the center of every room she entered, now feels invisible, adrift in a life that suddenly seems hollow. She leaves their meeting with her head high but her spirit fractured. It is in this vulnerable moment, broken and searching for solace, that Brooke crosses paths with an old flame, Nick Marone. Nick's return is unexpected, but it could not be more perfectly timed. Seeing Brooke's pain etched so clearly on her face, Nick steps in without hesitation. His presence is a balm, a reminder of a time when life was different, when love had different stakes and different risks. Nick offers her comfort, a shoulder to lean on, a hand to hold when she feels most alone. Their history crackles between them, a complicated past filled with passion, mistakes, and, perhaps, the kind of understanding Brooke needs now more than ever. As Brooke and Nick find themselves drawn together once more by circumstance and lingering affection, elsewhere in Los Angeles, another storm is brewing. Katie, Brooke's sister, steps boldly into her own confrontation. Suspicious of the newcomer Daphne, Katie demands answers. Her instincts tell her that Daphne's arrival is no coincidence, no mere career move. Katie, never one to back down from a fight when her family's interests are at stake, accuses Daphne outright of being a pawn, a tool sent by Steffi Forrester to manipulate situations behind the scenes. Katie's accusations are not without merit. It becomes clear that Steffi has indeed had dealings with Daphne, using her to advance agendas that could shake the foundations of Forrester Creations itself. Daphne's loyalties are conflicted, torn between the professional obligations she feels toward Steffi and the very real, very complicated feelings she has developed for Carter Walton. Katie, ever the strategist, threatens to expose the secret alliance between Daphne and Steffi. She warns Daphne that unless she comes clean, the fallout will be catastrophic, not just for her career, but for her relationships, especially the one forming with Carter. The tension escalates, setting off a chain reaction that no one could have predicted. Meanwhile, Carter Walton finds himself in a battle of his own, not with outside forces, but with the longing that refuses to let him move on. His heart still beats for Hope Logan, despite the shifting sands of their personal lives. In a vulnerable, heartfelt moment, Carter lays his soul bare once more, pleading with Hope to acknowledge the connection they share. He begs her to say that she wants him the way he wants her, to give their love a chance to thrive beyond the chaos and heartbreak that has defined so much of their recent lives. Hope, torn between her lingering grief over Liam's decline and the uncertainty of her own heart, hesitates. Carter's plea is powerful, but so are the ghosts of her past. She stands at a crossroads, one that could define not only her future, but also Carter's. For Carter, Hope represents not just love but redemption. She is the promise of a life untainted by the mistakes that have haunted him, the dream of a future built on honesty and trust. He sees in her a new beginning, a chance to finally be the man he has always wanted to be. And yet, Hope hesitates. The news of Daphne's duplicity, once revealed by Katie, only deepens Carter's resolve. He sees clearly now that the games, the lies, the manipulations, they must end. Hope is the light he refuses to lose, and he vows to fight for her with everything he has. As the revelations cascade through the Forrester and Logan families, alliances are tested and redefined. Eric, still mourning the broken bonds between Brooke and Ridge, watches from the sidelines with a heavy heart. He had hoped for reconciliation, for healing. Instead, he sees the people he loves drifting further apart, lost in a sea of old wounds and new betrayals. Ridge, steadfast in his commitment to Taylor, tries to maintain stability, but the ripples of Brooke's heartbreak and Nick's return threaten to disturb even the most carefully laid plans. Brooke, caught between the comfort Nick offers and the painful reality that Ridge has chosen another, must navigate a future she had never envisioned, one where her fairy tale has ended, and a new chapter must begin, whether she is ready or not. Katie, emboldened by her victory in exposing Daphne, solidifies her position as a protector of her family, even as she grapples with the consequences of her actions. Hope, standing on the precipice of love and loss, must decide whether to step forward into a future with Carter or retreat into the safety of her memories. Carter, unwavering in his devotion, prepares to fight with every fiber of his being for the chance to build a life with Hope, to show her that love, once lost, can be found again in the most unexpected places. And Daphne, caught between ambition and genuine affection, must face the reality that her choices have consequences she can no longer control. The Bold and the Beautiful, true to its name, weaves a story of passion, heartbreak, betrayal, and hope, a story where every decision carries weight, where every heart carries scars, and where every ending is but a prelude to a new beginning. As the weeks unfold, viewers will be drawn deeper into this intricate web of love and loyalty, watching as Brooke and Nick rediscover old flames, as Ridge and Taylor solidify their bond, as Carter and Hope struggle to define their future, and as Katie continues her relentless crusade for truth and justice. The stage is set. The players are in motion. And in Los Angeles, where love and ambition collide, nothing is ever truly over.
Oh,